If you're shopping for a home security system, here's the trap. People tend to compare upfront price tags when the real cost shows up over time. A security system has an upfront cost, a monthly cost, and then the stuff that happens cost. In this video, I'm going to compare DIY, national providers, and local or custom installers using simple example numbers, so you can predict your real cost before you buy anything. For quick context, I ran a security alarm installation business for over 20 years. I've installed systems, serviced them, and seen what homeowners actually end up paying, not just what the box says on day one. Here's the framework we'll use, which consists of 3 layers. Layer 1 is the upfront cost, hardware and installation. Layer 2 is the monthly cost, monitoring and any service plan. Layer 3 is time, because monthly fees don't feel big until you multiply them. And we'll look at 2 common time horizons that matter for homeowners, 3 years and 5 years. Because decisions for security system pricing are actually what am I paying over the next few years, not just what's cheapest today. One quick fairness note before we run the numbers. For DIY, I'm treating installation labor as $0 because you're not paying a technician. But it's not free. You're still paying with your time, your testing, and your troubleshooting. If you enjoy that, DIY can be a great fit. If you don't, that's exactly what you're paying a provider to take off your plate. I've seen DIY installs done better than pro installs because the homeowner cared enough to test and refine it. Also, some DIY systems can be run with self-monitoring for $0 a month. I realize that, but for this video, I'm using monitored plans in the examples, so we're comparing the same basic outcome, and that is someone else responding after an alarm. Let's begin with a basic starter setup. Intrusion coverage, 1 keypad, and no cameras. Keep in mind these are example numbers just to show the cost model. Pricing varies by region, promos, and plan tier. These are realistic example ranges just to explain the cost model, not a quote. For a DIY starter package example, we'll assume hardware is about $150, with monthly monitoring at about $23 per month. For our local or custom installer starter package example, we're using a hardware price of about $300 with installation at $400. So the upfront cost would be about $700. For monthly monitoring, we'll use a range of $25 to $35 per month. For the national provider starter package example, let's use a hardware cost of about $275, installation at $150, so the upfront cost would be about $425. For monthly monitoring, we'll use a range of $25 to $50 per month. Now here's the math that changes how you see this. To calculate the 3-year cost, it's the upfront cost plus the monthly fee times 36 months. Similarly, the 5-year cost would be the upfront cost plus the monthly fee times 60. So for the starter package totals after 3 years, the DIY approach is estimated at about $1,000. The local or custom installer estimate has a low range of about $1,600 with a high-end range of a little under $2,000. With our national provider example, the low range is a little over $1,300 with a high-end range of about $2,200. So at 3 years, these options can look surprisingly close on the low end. The swing factor is usually the monthly plan and what's included. When we look at the starter package totals after 5 years, DIY comes in a little over $1,500. For a local custom installer, we have a range of $2,200 to $2,800. And with a national provider, we end up with an estimated range of $1,900 to $3,400. And that's the first big takeaway. Upfront price is the headline, monthly price is the story. Now let's do the same thing with a more advanced setup because cameras are where the cost model changes fast. For a DIY advanced package example, we're assuming 2 outdoor cameras on top of the starter package from the previous example. That puts the hardware price at about $250, with a monitoring and recording plan that can range from about $40 to $80 per month, depending on features like video verification of alarms and video storage. For a local or custom installer advanced package example, we're assuming a video doorbell that replaces an existing old school doorbell plus 1 additional outdoor camera. This puts the hardware estimate at about $550, with installation at about $800, so the total upfront is estimated at $1,350. For monitoring, we're using a range of $35 to $50 per month. For the national provider advanced package example, we're also assuming a video doorbell plus 1 additional outdoor camera. This puts the hardware cost at about $550, with installation estimated at $500, so the upfront cost is about $1,000. For monitoring under this example package, we're using a range of $40 to $50 per month. Same formulas. Here are the estimated totals with each approach for our advanced package. After 3 years, for DIY, we end up with a range of about $1,700 to just over $3,100. For our local custom installer, the estimated range is about $2,600 to $3,150. And for the national provider option, the range comes in at about $2,500 to $2,850. For the same advanced package totals after 5 years, we get a DIY pricing range of $2,650 all the way up to $5,000. With a local or custom installer, the estimated range is about $3,500 to $4,400. And for the national provider advanced package example after 5 years, we get an estimated range of about $3,500 to $4,000. So here's the camera takeaway. Cameras don't just add hardware cost, they often push you into higher monthly tiers because you're paying for features, storage, and sometimes enhanced response with a feature like video verification. Most camera frustrations are network and power frustrations, so plan for Wi-Fi, placement, and power-related considerations over and above our sample pricing. So if you want to predict your real number, here are the 5 things that move the cost most, regardless of provider. 1 is how much space you need to cover. More doors, more windows, more zones equals more hardware and more complexity. 2 is cameras. Outdoor cameras, doorbells, recording, and smart detection features can raise both upfront and monthly pricing. 3 is installation complexity. For 2-story homes, finished basements, detached garages, or tricky layouts, expect the labor to go up. 4th is the monthly monitoring tier. Basic alerting with police or fire dispatch is 1 level. More enhanced responses that include video verification or other features can be another monitoring price level. And number 5 is contract and service terms. What's included? What's a paid service call? Who replaces what? And what happens if you cancel? Those terms are often where cheap today becomes expensive later. So now let's turn the math into decision rules so you can use it. What are we really learning from the numbers? First, don't shop by upfront price alone. Shop by the 3 to 5 year total, because that's where most homeowners actually live with the system. If you're going to keep the system for years, monthly matters more than the upfront kit price. Second, you're choosing where you want to pay. DIY often means you pay less in dollars upfront, but you pay with your time, and the monthly plan can change a lot once you add cameras. National providers often reduce your day one cost, but the monthly and the contract terms are where the real costs show up, especially once promos end. Promos typically change the upfront number. They rarely change the long-term number. Local and custom installers usually cost more upfront, but as systems get bigger, add cameras, or need cleaner integration, that upfront cost can be easier to justify because it buys design attention, higher install rigor, and a service relationship. Third, cameras are the pivot point. They can change monthly tiers fast, and they can create network and power setup that people don't necessarily price up front. So if you're adding cameras, don't just price hardware, price the monthly plan and these additional installation considerations. So the whole point of this video is that the decision lens is simple. Where do you want to pay? Upfront, monthly, or in your own time? And how long do you expect to keep the system? If you might move in 2 years, don't buy like you'll stay for 8. If you found this helpful, here's the question. Would you rather pay more upfront or pay more monthly? Comment with your situation, starter system or a system with cameras, and what direction you're leaning, DIY, national provider, or local installer. And in the next video, we'll cover something even more important than price. What sensors you actually need so you don't overspend on the wrong coverage. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.